Before I start, I just want to say Sketch is not an image editing application. It's not meant to be. So the tools on it are somewhat limited. Having said that, there are some pretty good image editing functions in the app, so we're going to go over those real quick and you can get a feel for them. I'm going to paste in an image. I'm just going to Command V, paste. I copied this earlier. This is a game that I designed with a friend of mine. It's a variation on 2048 called Swarm 2048. I recommend checking it out. This is a really colorful image, so it's good for demonstrating the functionality here. To get into image editing, well, first you can click it and just see the attributes on the image. I'll just do a quick rundown. This is all pretty standard stuff, you know, opacity, blending. Blending with images is especially useful, but again, there are a lot of blending modes, so I'm going to save that for its own tutorial. You can put a fill on an image just like any shape, and it fills it just like, again, any shape. So, you know, I could make it less opaque, change color, get rid of those. You can put a border, again, same as anything else, any other object layer. You can put a shadow. Just a note, you can see all these things, they're affecting the whole thing. The image itself doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on, unless there's transparency in the image. If there's transparency, it'll stay transparent. But otherwise, it just applies the fill or the shadow to the whole thing, just along the outside or all over the inside. One nice thing is blur. It's very easy to put a blur on an image, so if you have something in the background on a web page or something, that's nice. Alright, I'll clear all these. So this is special to images. Color adjust. This is nice. You can change the colors. Wow, that's pretty cool actually, with all these colors. So hue, if you're familiar with the HSB color space, it's just adjusting hue. Saturation is, you know, how bright the colors are. So 0 is gray, and 2 is very saturated, and 1 is just the original. Brightness, pretty self-explanatory. Contrast, also pretty self-explanatory. I recommend looking these things up. Now this image is all modified. I'm actually going to delete it and paste it anew, so we're back at the original. Now we're going to dig into the real image editing functionality. So you double click the image, or alternatively you can click edit up here in the toolbar. We have two modes. We have selection, we have magic wand. Selection, you just select a rectangle of any size, so I'll select this whole game area, and you have these 4 options underneath. Invert selection, so now rather than selecting the rectangle, I've selected everything but the rectangle. I'll switch that back. You can crop, so that will delete everything but the selected area. I had the rectangle selected, I'll select a different rectangle, and if I invert and then crop, it takes out that center area. So then there is the fill selection, so now I can just apply a fill to that area only. One thing worth noting is when you do that, that is now part of the image. So I can't pull that rectangle out. It is now embedded in the image. So you can see some artifacting here. I will undo that. And the last thing is, and this is pretty cool, vectorize selection. So I have vectorized it. So it just creates a shape that's in the shape of the selection. And when you're doing rectangles, it's really not that interesting. But that's where the magic wand comes in. So if I select magic wand when I'm in editing mode, it will automatically select the thing that I click on. So I can just click on one thing and you can see it selected the whole rectangle, the blue rectangle I just clicked on. Or I can do this, click on a shape like this. So the thing to notice is it's not extremely precise, so sometimes it takes a few clicks to get it right. Like here I got the 8, or I try to get the 3. And one cool thing is, okay, I can click and drag, and as I drag outward, you see this circle coming out, and it's showing the area that I'm selecting. And the dot in the middle is the object that I've clicked on. So here I clicked on the 8, and it's showing I'm selecting the 8. But if I did that over here on a more kind of contoured surface, like on this red planet here, you'll see it'll it'll start to fill out more and more and spread over the red of the area. And the farther out you get, the less precise it is, so it starts selecting other things, and before long you see it's bleeding over all over the place. For this surface, it's not really that useful for me to vectorize. I get this weird shape that's kind of crazy because Sketch doesn't expect a shape quite like that. But if I were to say, I really like this 8, I don't know what font it is, so I'm just going to grab a vectorized version of it. I can turn that into a vector, and now I have the 8. You can see here, this actually didn't come out all that great. Like I said, Sketch is not really an image editing software, so, manage your expectations when it comes to this kind of thing. Let's see if this one will work. Yeah, I mean, this 6 isn't pretty. But in some cases, you end up getting really good results, and others you might not. I'm going to try one more. This selection, vectorize. Okay, that definitely did not come out the way I expected. Alright, well, that's it. I highly recommend experimenting. Try it out. Leave any comments if you have any questions or you want me to explain anything else. Thanks for watching. Check out sketchdatastudio.com.